So today we are going to be looking at 10 of my current fragrance obsessions. So every now and then I'll get hooked on a few different scents and I'll just want to wear them and I'll be thinking about them all the time until eventually I kind of get my fix from it and then I'm on to the next thing. Sometimes that happens with a newer release, other times that happens with just a new scent to my collection in general, or it could be something that I've had for a long time that I've rediscovered and then I'm hooked on it again. So I thought maybe it'd be interesting to you guys to see what I've really been wearing and gravitating towards here lately, especially being that we've had some interesting weather. It's been warmer here on some days, so I've had a chance to kind of branch out and get into some things that weren't super heavy. However, there are some pretty heavy winter scents in here as well. So I will link these down below to discounters for you. Also, I have a mailing list you can sign up to if you're on the hunt for any rare, hard to find, discontinued fragrances. You name it, chances are when it comes in stock, I will have a post out to you guys through the mailing list and also on my community tab as well. So if that's what you're kind of after here, then make sure you get on that list. Let's get things kicked off with Calvin Klein reveals. So this one's probably really kind of funny to some of you guys because it's a Calvin Klein. It's a cheapie, I think on discounters like, I don't know, $30 or so, somewhere around in there. And it's one that I picked up on a whim. I'm not really sure why I did, but I did. It's a little bit newer to the collection, but it's impressed me a ton. So this one has melon, brandy, salt, and tonka as some of the main notes. Kind of an interesting note breakdown here. Something that's combining some sweet, heavier notes with some summertime, kind of brighter, fresher accords as well. You know, like that sea salt melon, but then a booziness and a sweet, dusty tonka bean. For what it is, it's really quite interesting. It's a unique combination of notes and it's done in a really nice way. Also, it doesn't smell overly cheap either. Now, some Calvin Klein fragrances could lean a little bit in that cheapy smelling direction, you know, a little bit on the synthetic smelling side. This one really isn't too bad. I think it's definitely ahead of what a lot of the other fragrances are in the brand here, and I think it's one you should definitely check out. I know for me, it's caught me off guard in a really good way. Now, this next one, for some reason, has shown up on discounters. It's been out of stock for the longest time because this, along with a few others, were released as limited editions, and they've been gone for some time now. But this one has now shown back up at a pretty consistent price of around $40 for a 100 milliliter bottle. Mercedes-Benz Infinite Spicy. This is part of the VIP Club line, and so basically what they did was they came out with, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them and put the name of the perfumer kind of in the naming convention of the bottle. So you can actually see this one was done by Olivier Cresp, and you could see it right there if you can read that. So Infinite Spicy by Olivier Cresp, the master perfumer. So it's kind of cool, actually. They were highlighting the perfumers and maybe giving them a little bit more credit compared to what pretty much every other designer brand does, which they don't really promote that to the masses. 99% of people have no idea who any of the perfumers are because they are not anywhere on the bottle or presentation or whatever. So it was cool that they did this, and like I said, all limited editions. However, this one is one that you can get really easily as of right now. So it probably doesn't surprise you when I tell you that this is a very spicy scent. Okay, so of those spices, you get some cardamom, Sichuan pepper, and then some juniper berries, adding to the aromatic feel of this one. It smells fantastic. It's very classy for what it is. You know, it's upscale, it's elegant, it's refined. It's a really well done, well executed men's designer scent with great quality and even great performance. Now, this is one that I've been able to pull out on a few unseasonably warm days here in February. Believe it or not, we've had a couple 50, 55 degree and sunny days here, which is really weird because not too long ago, last year around this time, we were having a big snowstorm. So it's completely weird, but I've had a chance to kind of break this one out with some more mild temperatures, and it works great. This is definitely one that I could see making my top 10 spring list if it's still around here in a little over a month for me to feature it. If it's not, I'll still be wearing it anyway in spring. This is a fantastic one. Up next, we have a newer clone to the collection. I've actually already done a review on this one, so chances are you probably have seen my thoughts on this already. However, if you haven't, this is HARAMAIN Amber Oud Exclusive BLEU. So not Blue Edition, just BLEU. It is a Parfum concentration, and this is a clone of Parfums de Marly Layton. So, I was kind of going into it like, all right, I already have HARAMAIN Detour Noir, which is fantastic. So I was really curious to put this up against the other HARAMAIN Layton clone. Now, when you take a look at them here, this is a little bit more than double the price, especially when you factor in price per mil. Detour Noir, 35, 100 mil. This one is like 65 for 2 ounce. So quite a bit more expensive, actually. Not for nothing, though. This one does have a bit more of a premium feel. It definitely has higher quality. It's a little bit more smooth, even maybe a better performer too. That Parfum concentration is no joke. And what I said in my review, one thing I pointed out was when this is on skin, you can actually see your skin being oily, which is very common for an extrait. So that's kind of just also a way where you could tell, okay, they're not fluffing us here. Like, this actually is highly concentrated. Also, it's a little bit more smooth and a little bit more patchouli dominant compared to Layton. So overall, this is a nice different take on the DNA while still being heavily influenced by Layton and still very much a clone. This one has impressed me so much that I've just been wearing it a lot lately. You know, it's things like this that kind of keep that spark alive for that Layton DNA. Amazing stuff and definitely worth checking out. Let's keep it moving with Replica Jazz Club. So this one here has tobacco, it has rum, there's some vanilla in here. And so, I mean, if you look at the description, we've got cocktails and cigars, basically. And that's what this smells like, to a T. It's actually quite shocking, especially considering this is really a designer and it's available on all of your big retailers, Sephora, Ulta, I think Macy's, right? All of those big ones. You know, it's all over the place. You can walk into a lot of places and pick this up. And it's really quite challenging for what it is. I mean, it literally does have a smoky tobacco accord in here, really well done. I'm a big fan of tobacco fragrances, and I could definitely be hard on them because I know what I'm looking for. This one pulls it off great, and that kind of boozy rum whiskey accord in here also works out really nicely. Fantastic stuff. Great performance as well. Definitely going to be for someone who wants a heavy, rich, strong wintertime scent. Next up, we have Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir Parfum. So this one is taking that vetiver musky DNA and then throwing in some iris. So you're kind of getting this fresh woody DNA mixing with a sweet powdery iris to create a really nice wearing experience. And while it does have similarities to something like the sweeter iris scents, it's done in a different way because instead of getting a bunch of sweetness all the way through, you're getting a fresh woody base and musky base, but with the sweet iris compared to something like Dior Homme Intense, which is iris and then, you know, chocolatey cacao and everything like that all the way through. A little bit of lavender aromatic, but not a ton. And so this is a kind of an interesting take. It's going to be more versatile, more wearable, and even more mass pleasing. Ultimately, I've really liked how this one had turned out. It's one that's also pretty good for milder temperatures here. I mean, you could wear this in really cold temperatures, no problem. But those, I will typically be going for something like Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, whatever. This one, for those more moderate days, it works really well. Next up, we have a fantastic coffee scent. This one is highly underrated in my opinion, and if you have, I think, $65 laying around, you could have this one right in your collection. Robert Graham VALOUR. So, can you see it? Hold it like this. There you go. This one has coffee. It's got a little bit of amber in here and then sage. So it's an aromatic coffee scent with a nice amber, and it smells killer. Great stuff. Very well done. Very photorealistic coffee scent. And this one definitely made the list for a reason. Each time I smell this one, I have to get it on skin and I have to wear it. And it's one of those deals where if I'm not wearing it, every time I'm down here, you know, I'll pick the bottle up, I'll just give it a smell because I think it's fantastic, especially for the price. Very unique. And also, there really aren't any other coffee fragrances out there that smell like this one. So it does stand out and it does offer you up something a bit different. Especially for the price, this stuff is a must-have. Next up, we have Wood is probably one of my favorite niche fragrances of all time. It's one of my favorites from this brand. There's something about this one that is truly special and quite impressive. It's KILIAN Straight to Heaven, just the original here. Fantastic boozy scent. I mean, hopefully you guys have smelled this by now via a sample or blind buy or whatever. If you haven't, you should. Cedarwood, patchouli, rum, and vanilla, along with dried fruits, are some of the main notes here in this one. Beautiful work of art. So realistic. So boozy, smoky, sexy, alluring. This is going to be my scent of the night. After I'm done here, I'm going to hop in the shower and it'll be time to choose something to wear for the evening, and this is going to be it. That's already predetermined as I was getting the fragrances down, for this video. Every time I pick up this bottle and every time I look at this bottle, I have to smell it, and I did, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm wearing this tonight. I don't know, like I said, there's something about it, and for the most part, I would say this is probably the most coveted and most loved KILIAN. There's a few others, of course, but I would say generally this is kind of the one. And it's not for just any random reason. It's not just like everyone's hyping it up just to hype it up. There's something amazing and special about this stuff. Nothing short of just incredible. And if you like boozy scents, this should be at the top of your list to get. Next up, we have Le Male Le Parfum. So this one has a little bit of iris, actually, some cardamom, some vanilla, and some fresh aromatic lavender, which ties this into the original Le Male. And then you get some vanillic sweetness like Ultra Male, so kind of some bits and pieces of that. And then its own twist with some iris, and then a very nice, warm, and spicy cardamom accord, which makes this one, in my opinion. Cardamom pretty much always makes something better, At least for me, I love the note, and it's used really well here. Now, it's not too awfully strong. It's not to the level of La Nuit de l'Homme or something like that, but it's very tasteful, and it really gives this one some texture and some variety, and it makes it stand out. Very well done flanker, and probably one of the best flankers in the line. You guys know I love Ultra Male, one of my all-time favorites, but this one could rival it. It's right there. They're neck and neck, and I think for most people, talking mass appeal and just and likability across the board, this one would probably win. I just think it's very refined, very well done, very tasteful all the way through. The second to last scent, we do have a new release, actually. This one, I've already done my first impressions on. I've already uploaded it, and it's really good, and I liked it a lot when I first smelled it, as you saw in the video, but now I've been going back to it. I've been going back to it a lot, and I've been liking it more and more each time. That's nice. Hugo Boss The Scent Magnetic. So kind of an interesting note breakdown. We have vanilla, we have the maninka fruit, which gotta have it, and then bran. So yeah, bran. It kind of gives off this weedy texture, a little bit of a different type of dusty, rich, sweet texture. The maninka fruit, of course, is doing what it does best in this line. Very, very easy to pick up on, and definitely very distinct. And then the vanilla in here, a nice darker, richer vanilla accord to really wrap this one up, and it gives it this really just seductive and kind of alluring, addicting smell. I think this is a great flanker, and being that they are discontinuing a lot of the other ones, probably just to make room for more stuff like this, this might end up becoming one of the better ones we've gotten. And last up for this video, Stronger With You Only by Emporio Armani. So this one has that signature chestnut vanilla tonka bean chord there, and then some grapefruit off the top. So this is kind of taking place of Stronger With You Freeze, which they've discontinued. And this is kind of your fresher take. Even though it's not as fresh as Freeze, that's where this stands in the line. It's definitely the freshest of the in-production ones. And so on those days, like I was talking about earlier, where it was 50, 55, the sun was out, it's feels great, but there is still a little bit of a chill in the air, right? And so I'm not going to be wearing my freshies and stuff during that time. I'm really going to wait for summer and truly for spring for those. So this is the type of thing that I could wear on those days where, it really was feeling great out, but still a little bit cool. This one has that nice balance of fresh, a little bit of citrus off the top, but then that sweetness as well. Definitely a nice one to have around, and it's already pretty affordable on discounters. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 of my current fragrance obsessions as of right now. Let me know down below, what are you obsessed with? What are you wearing all the time right now? Links to these will be down below. Deals will be on my community tab and on my mailing list. If you want to get some of the rarest things, some of the best hot sellers, you always miss out on them because they sell out quick. This will be your chance. Every time something's hard to get, sought after, rare, great deal comes in stock, I send out an email and you guys will be able to pick it up. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.